This is the 2-in-1 Dreo fan slash heater, and in this video I wanted to share with you how it works and my experience using it. So let's do it. Unboxing it and putting it together was very simple. The only thing you really had to attach was the bottom piece, which was very simple to assemble. Taking a look at the top of this unit is the control panel, which all the buttons are flush. It's basically like pressure sensitive when you touch on them, and I just want to walk you through some of the functions that it has. So first of all, it has a volume button that you can toggle on and off so that it doesn't beep when you press through all the different functions. I typically mute it, that way I don't have to listen to it every time I change a heat mode on there, so I typically like to silence it. And then it also has a clock button, which that is like an auto shut off timer that you can put on. It goes all the way from like 1 hour to 12 hours, and you can just set your duration and it will automatically shut off after that time frame. So that's kind of a nice feature. And if you forget to shut off this unit altogether, it has an auto shut off after 24 hours, just so you don't burn down your house or anything like that. It's kind of just a safety feature, so it will automatically shut off after 24 hours of being on. Both the volume button and the timer button, if you hold them both together, that will enable a child safety lock. That way no one can hit the different buttons and it won't change anything. And then below that is your mode button. When it's in the fan setting, it has, first of all, just your normal wind speed, which you can increase your fan or decrease it, and that just operates like a normal fan. And then if you hit the M button again, it turns on this little leaf icon, and that means it's like in a natural setting, so it kind of mimics a normal outdoor breeze. So it's trying to replicate just like the wind picks up and it's a little heavier, then it calms down. It kind of just tries to mimic a natural feeling of being outside, so that's what that is. And then if you hit it again, it goes into a moon icon, which is like night mode, which that will basically, if you're on a higher fan setting, like setting level 5 or something, if you hit it into night mode, it will slowly decrease that speed down to level 3. That way you can just sleep easier at night. And then it will mute all the settings as well, and it will dim the screen for you as well. So that's what the night option does. And then if you tap it again, it will go into the automatic mode, which that will just sense the temperature in the room and it will adjust the speed of the fan based on that. So if it's too hot in here, it's gonna crank up the fan speed to be higher. Next to the M button is a plus and minus button that will control the speed of your fan, so you can increase it all the way up to level 12. And you can decrease it down to level 1. And I noticed that level 12 actually puts out a lot of breeze. It puts out a lot of air, and I feel like the surface area that this whole unit takes up, it just feels like a good chunk of air coming at you. It's not just like a small little boxy fan. This thing pumps out a ton of air, and the nice thing is it's not loud. It doesn't sound like a jet turbine. It sounds relatively quiet, especially even at faster speeds, so it's never too obnoxious when you're using it. So I feel like the speed settings and just the amount of air it blows out is pretty decent. Above those buttons is an oscillation button, and that will just rotate your fan in place. You can choose to set it to 90-degree rotation or 120-degree rotation, which is a pretty decent amount of coverage, or just 0 degrees and it will just stay in place like it is now. Next to that is your button to toggle between your fan and your heat. So if you hold it for 3 seconds, it will count down 3, 2, 1, and then it will go into your heat mode, and now it's going to be pumping out heat into my room. So that's kind of how that button works. It just toggles it back and forth. When you have the heater turned on, it comes with 5 different heat levels, and I feel like level 5 pumps out a lot of air as well, but this time it's hot air instead of just your regular fan. So I feel like this does a pretty decent job again at heating a room, especially because the surface area on this fan is so tall and it just covers more area. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is very silent in here, and it's on its highest level. When you have the heat on, it has 2 different modes. The first one is like a regular heater, and you can choose whatever level you want it to be at. The second mode is eco mode, and you can literally set a specific temperature you want it to be at. So if you want your room to be 72 degrees, you can input that into the device, and then it will keep your room at that temperature. Then the last button on here is your power button. So if you tap that, it's gonna shut it off, and it has a 15-second timer to shut off fully. This way it gets the remaining heat out of the unit before it fully powers down. It's kind of a little safety measure it has in place, which I find that to be nice. That way you don't burn your house down. And I feel like this device also has other safety features as well that I really appreciate. One of those is that if you tip this over, it's gonna automatically shut off as well. That way it doesn't catch your rug on fire or your floor or something if one of the kids accidentally bumps it over. So that's good. And then also on the plug side of it, if it senses like, I don't know exactly what it senses, but if like the current or something is wrong, if you're having some sort of electrical issue, it will power it off as well, and it won't turn back on again until you can resolve your electricity issue. So that's kind of a cool feature as well. Not only does it have the control panel up top here to control the device, but it also comes with a remote, and this basically has all the same buttons on it than this has. The only button that I don't notice on here is the volume button to turn the volume on or off. I don't really mind that it doesn't come with it, and that's because I typically don't alternate the volume on and off that frequently. Usually I just keep it off, so I don't mind that it doesn't come with it, but all the rest of the buttons still turn this on and function the same way that this does. The only thing is you don't have to hold the fan and heater toggle button for 3 seconds. You can just tap it and it's going to change between the heater and the fan. Another feature that I really like with this is that it remembers the last setting that you had it in. So if I had it in the heat mode on level 3 with the volume turned off, it will remember that, so the next time I go to turn it back on, it will be in that setting already. I had this set up in my office earlier, and it has no problem at all heating that space, especially if I shut the door behind me. It can literally feel like a sauna in there for how warm it makes the whole room feel. So I feel like it does a really good job. But then now I'm moving it down to our basement, which is a much larger area. But this way my wife works down there too, so this will help keep her a lot warmer down there. And I might use the oscillation feature more just in case other people are in our basement as well. It'll kind of just disperse the heat throughout the room a little better. And then when she's working right by the heater, she can just have the oscillation just set to her and not go through the whole room. The back piece comes off really easily as well if you need to clean it, and it has a little handle right here so that you can lift it up easy. It's really not that heavy. It's pretty lightweight, honestly, so it's not a struggle to move it, and that's basically it. It does the job. It does exactly what I would expect it to do, and it does it well. It has a lot of nice features built into it, and it's something that I'm gonna continue using, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it works good. Honestly, I'll give this a thumbs up if you're interested in getting something like this. I have no problem recommending it. I feel like it works great for me, so there it is. The Dreo 2-in-1 heater/fan. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in it, and thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it helped you out a little more if you were looking to get something like this.